I have seen a lot of cool things in that time. I gotta say, tonight is definitely one of them.
You guys
I
asked
got
me
to
to
go
record
to
this.
the
I'm
very
doing it.
first E3.
This better be good.
Right here in Los Angeles.
If they fuck this
I
up.
know. They're so cute when they're little. They're full of energy and life. And then, remember when little E3 ran away from home, went to Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. A lot of you didn't come. I liked Atlanta, or East Coast. And then E3 went through the moody teen years and came back and locked itself in its room. Remember, it was in the convention center, but just in the meeting rooms. They didn't invite anybody. And I can remember literally walking between the halls and seeing nobody. I was like, this is how a zombie movie starts. And now E3 has grown up. It's in its 20s. It's more confident, can handle its alcohol better, like all of you. Thank you. So
just tell me if I need booze yet or not.
After this, so pace yourselves. And I hope you're comfortable, by the way. I'm going to be here for a while. And E3 has become such an incredible week of entertainment, but we know that most of you came here for one thing. Thank you.
Fuck that guy! Fuck that guy in the audience!
I think it's to see where we're putting Skyrim next. Well, I think we have the best one yet.
The Elder Scrolls speak of the past and the future. Now, Skyrim looks to the future, to its ultimate version.
Alexa, play Skyrim.
You're level 57 and see a tall snowy mountain.
Climb it.
Now, Skyrim and life become one.
A mud crab scuttles toward us. I didn't catch that. I didn't quite catch that.
You fucking shit
all the way to
pastors.
Sylvangard.
What happened?
Fusroda. That's the command for knocking things over.
You fucking
Is there a command for picking shit up?
Haven't reached that level yet.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens.
Ooh.
The dragon unleashes fire breath on you.
Okay.
You have 7% health left.
Oh, shit. I drink a health potion.
You are out of health potions.
How many wheels of cheese do I have left?
473.
Okay, I eat all the cheese. I eat all of the cheese.
Hey, hun. Remember what the doctor said about dairy?
Yes. Right, yes, of course. You're the greatest. Thank you so much. I ate all of the cheese.
Introducing Skyrim, very special edition. Also coming soon to Etch-a-Sketch.
What in the shit is this even? The fuck?
Samsung Smart Refrigerator.
Are you kidding?
Oh, that's cool.
At least it's realistic. At least it's realistic with the ice and snow.
Had to do it. Okay, really, we both know why you're here, and that's to talk about the next Fallout. Fallout 76 is a prequel to all the other games.
Yeah, we got
and
that.
It's our biggest one yet. It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
So the size of New Vegas.
Set in the hills of West Virginia, you are one of the first to emerge into an untamed and very different wasteland.
If you say multiplayer online, I'm gonna be pissed. Wow. To be that guy. You know your day is shitty. When you just have to watch the world end and it's the only thing you can do. I've already seen this video because they showed it like before the game. They started the press conference. Let's make this bigger for you guys. There we go. You don't care about who I'm watching. You don't care about the chat. There we go. That's better. That's better.
300 years after our great
Color
nation
TV
began,
now.
we gathered
Heard that's a
together to
fad.
honor the completion of Vault 76. This sprawling underground shelter may have been engineered by Vault Tech, but it was built by you.
Where's all the people
So
at
that
this
if the
celebration?
bombs do come,
That is totally
our
a
way of
Pitbuck
life
2000. We don't
will
have a
do
Geiger
it.
counter. If they've done it correctly, we don't have a Geiger counter.
West Virginia,
Wish I could close these things.
Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah
I'm muting it for copyright purposes, but I do like the music. I want to clarify this. I am muting it for copyright purposes, but I do like the music. What the fuck is that? What did you? What the fuck was that thing? Okay, that's a cool effect. And then, like, you know, you stop and you're like, I might be able to dig this thing out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. What is that thing? Holy shit! The fuck are these mutants? That's a fucking Jersey Devil! Okay, that's a nice shot. That is a nice shot. Okay. So, now that you've, you know, shown off your trailer with some freaky ass fucking mutants.
Vault 76, one of the very first vaults to open, was built to celebrate America's tercentenary, which is an awesome word, by the way. Like, that's your
Tercentenary.
word of the night. Tercentenary. You are one of the very special few selected to be an occupant and spend 25 years underground waiting for
Just 25
Reclamation
years.
Day.
So
The
it's
day
2102.
the vault opens.
So this is before Fallout 1. Okay.
Good morning, Vault 76.
Are you just gonna walk us
This
through
is
the opening like right now?
overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept. But it's time to get up and get out there. We've been locked away long enough.
That is an old fashioned. That is a 2000 or Pitbuck 1.0. It's got a leather strap on it. And only 4 buttons, not 5.
It's Reclamation Day.
Not 4 or 5 like the others.
Oh, finally! I feared you'd never wake up. Don't you remember? Time to leave the vault.
Everybody else already leave?
Already gone.
It may be time
Shit.
to leave, but I'll never forget the day you all entered Vault 76. You come from every walk of life, every race, color, and creed. But you all
That's nice.
share one
Diversity's
very
always
important
cool.
trait. You are this country's best and brightest. But more importantly, you'll always be my family.
Goodbye. Aloha. Ciao. Arrivederci.
It's only been 25 years, by the way. Nuclear fallout takes 50. So, it's only been half the time. Okay, once again, muting for copyright purposes. The music's beautiful, by the way.
It features all new rendering, lighting, and landscape
I
technology.
mean, it's still the
It
Fallout
allows
4
us to
engine,
have
clearly.
16 times the detail and even view distant weather systems across the map.
That's cool. Now, is it going to run smoothly, or
Now,
is it going
most
to like, blow my
people
system up?
don't know West Virginia that well. It is an incredible array of natural wonders, towns, and government secrets. This is where the actual nuclear secrets are. And the quest the Overseer sends you on will take you through 6
That is an
distinct
MG42
regions, each
too.
with their own style, risks, and rewards. There's plenty of cool new Fallout
Those are new? Oh
features,
god, there's a communist
and we
robot.
even
What the
use
fuck are you?
folklore of West Virginia
What the
to
fuck are
bring
you?
our Fallout versions to life.
Oh god. Freaky mutant! Freaky mutant! Freakier mutant! Bad crap thing, Mirelurk.
We have always wanted to tell that story of what it will be like for you and the other characters who were first to leave the vaults. But there is one big difference
Again,
with this game.
say
It's
multiplayer.
that each of those characters is a real person.
No. No.
Because yes, Fallout 76 is entirely online.
Boo!
Okay.
No.
I know, there's a lot. You have like 1,000 questions right now. So I'm going to go through them in order. Now, I'll hit a couple of the big ones. First, of course, you can play this solo. All right?
Okay.
You'll be who you want, exploring a huge world, doing quests, experiencing a story, and leveling up. We love those things about our games too. It would not have it any other way.
Okay.
But also, like many of you, we have always wanted to see what our style
You
of
got a
game
tough sell
could
now.
be with multiplayer. So many of us talk about experiences in our games, but we've never experienced them.
If it's Dark
together.
Souls like, okay, but
So about 4 years ago, we hit upon an idea that is perfect for Fallout. Open world, survival. Every person and character is real. And it was an idea that we just couldn't
sorry
shake.
guys, it's raining really hard.
We knew we had to do it and do it in a really big way. Now, I know you may have played survival modes in like some of our previous games or some other online games, and people wonder, is this
You're not helping
hardcore
yourself.
survival? I like to think of it maybe, it's more softcore survival.
You're not helping yourself. You ain't helping
Maybe
yourself.
that should be a new ESRB descriptor. Death never means the loss of progression or the loss of your character. Your character isn't tied to one server. As a matter of fact, you'll never even see a server when you play. You'll be in a world with dozens, not hundreds and not thousands of other players. It's the apocalypse. It's not an amusement park, okay? And you'll be able to join your friends whenever you want, and all of your progression goes with you.
So what you just told me is you're making the same mistake you made in Fallout 4,
When
where
we think
one
about
character can do
games,
everything.
We think about worlds and the choices that you can make, the stories that you create and tell yourself. By creating a wide open world with very few rules, we have a game more than any game that we've ever done where the choices are yours, where you'll decide what happens. You'll decide the heroes, and you'll decide the villains. Look, this is a whole new world for all of us here. And fortunately, our friends at Vault-Tec have made a series of informational videos for when all of us
You were like
merge together.
doing this right now, and you're gonna crash here in a minute with me. And probably most of the Fallout fan. Uh-huh.
As you venture out into this new American frontier, some of your fellow survivors may not be neighborly.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Really not a fan.
Chin up there, sport. Not all Vault 76
Not a
dwellers
fan.
will be so hostile. Find them and brave the new world together. Whether you choose to explore the wasteland alone or with friends, your days will be filled with fun activities.
You can run like a rabbit, fly like a bee. No matter what you do, you'll never get away from me because I'm behind you, baby. Right behind you.
Super mutant? Really? Really? No! Did you just rewrite all of Fallout? Super mutants don't exist yet! Much less in West Virginia! Whatever the fuck that thing is terrifying. No. Not a fan. You ain't helping your case. This is not a Fallout game. That is horrifying. In every shape of the word. That is terrifying. It's got the Fallout aesthetic. I probably just get a copyright strike. Thanks, Bethesda. Thanks.
Like previous Fallouts, you can play this game solo in Quest. But the easiest way to survive in the wasteland is to team up and build together. And in this one, you can build wherever you want. And you can also then move that to wherever you want.
After thermonuclear war, man's towering industrial marvels may no longer stretch to the heavens. What separates man from beast?
How's this gonna work?
It is his desire to build. Get started with camps. The construction and assembly mobile platform. Construct
This
your
is a great
home
idea,
of the
but
future. With your
We're
home
gonna expect
secure,
us to rebuild
you
the
can
wasteland
now craft
again. There's not
handmade
gonna be
ordnance at your
any-
leisure to give your
any-
altercations that personal touch. It falls on you and the ingenuity of your fellows to rebuild the
I mean, I like how the
America
buildings are
we
more
hold
together
dear.
now. We don't have to build scrap buildings. That's fair. But muting for music because god damn it, I'm probably gonna get a copyright hit. Chinese assault robots. Super mutants, really? Really? Okay, that is holy fuck balls. The fuck are you? Oh god! Okay, we've been able to do that since XCOM 2. That's nothing new. You're not selling me here. I mean, you kind of are, and then you're taking
we
it
love
away.
Dynamic game systems. So we thought, why don't we put multiple nuclear missile sites on the map? And then
What?
let all of you do whatever you want with them.
Today's episode, Atomics for Peace. When you emerge from the comfort and safety of your vault, the world you know will have
This
changed.
is dumb. This is so
Take
very
your
dumb.
friendly old neighbor Johnny. Rather than coming over to
I
borrow a
mean,
cup of
I'm
sugar,
gonna
he may
give it a
now be coming
review,
over
but so far this
for
is
murder.
not Fallout.
The time has come to seek out greater means of protection. Nuclear armaments. That's right. Courtesy of your Uncle
Okay,
Sam,
so I
these
see
wonders
a
of the atomic age can be
Enclave
found right
and
in
a
your
Steel
own
Ranger
backyard.
and regular power armor all
But
standing
how does
next to
a
each
fella
other.
like you acquire nuclear weapons, you may ask? Begin by inquiring with the locals. Gently coax them into cooperation. Use a little elbow grease if you have to.
Right, little elbow grease.
In the likely event you don't acquire a full code on your own, do not give up. Search for others who might be harboring a grudge.
Bingo, really?
You'll have that nuclear launch code in no time. With the power of the atom at your fingertips, be responsible and consider your target carefully.
Attention. Launch sequence activated.
So when I launch a missile on a server, is that it? Can no one else launch it? Because if they just respawn...
Will your bomb land on a rival camp of degenerates? A random stranger? The local wildlife? Whatever your target may be, take advantage of the resulting fallout to gather rare and valuable resources.
Yeah, okay then. I like the idea of playing with friends.
Don't come without risk. The fate of this new world is yours to command with the power of the atom.
I just don't like the fact that they all have power armor. Like, don't tell me you can hand me power armor in the first 30 minutes again. Don't do that shit.
We know you've played a lot of our games and a lot of online games, but this one really is unique. We have built a platform, 100% dedicated servers that will support this game now.
So we don't control the servers.
For years to come. And look, we know this is new.
So I can't just play with
it's
my
new
friends.
For us.
I have to play
it's a
on.
little bit scary.
Like I'm gonna wait till it
To
comes
that
out, but
end,
that suggests that I
we're
don't
gonna
control,
need
that I can't
your
control
help.
who's on my server.
Because yes, we are going to have a beta. And it is sponsored by our friends at Vault-Tec as well. The Break It Early test application.
Break it early? Really?
Because evidently these online games are hard. They can have some nasty issues.
No shit.
I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs.
You think?
I did. I read it on the internet, so it's true.
You think?
And that sometimes
a few bugs.
It doesn't just work. Anyway, we know together that we are going to build something really special. And we also know that all of you love our special editions. And we have an awesome collector's edition for you. It starts with a map of the world that glows in the fucking dark.
Okay, that wasn't that hard to make. It's cool, but it wasn't that hard to make.
It's so cool. It comes with figures you can put on the map. And it also comes with a Fallout collectible that really I've always wanted, so we made them for everybody to buy, and here it is.
Straighten up and fly right.
I gotta mute the thing again. Are we getting a helmet? Oh, we're getting a fucking helmet. Can I put it on? Can I put it on? Oh, I can put it on. I can put it on. Every time they play music, there's music, but... Okay, so it comes with a helmet I can put on. Can we get Pip Bucks again?
Yes, all of this, the
Can we get
Fallout
Pip Boys again,
76
please? I said Pip Buck, I'm a
Power
Pip Boy.
Armor Edition.
Don't judge me, I
So
like
you're probably
ponies.
wondering, when is this game coming out? We're excited to say that it's coming out this year, November 14th.
Just like the last one. Look how unexcited they are. You know you fucked up.
Thanks again for all your support of Fallout. It's been 10 years since Fallout 3, our very first one. And it's been an incredible journey with all of you. We do have another Fallout anniversary that we are celebrating here at E3. It is the 3-year anniversary of Fallout Shelter, which we announced and released right here at E3. And we have some cool surprises for you. Fallout Shelter is coming.
That mic is not positioned
to the
correctly.
PlayStation 4.
I've worn one of those. You shouldn't hear him breathing.
And because that guy said it, it's also coming to the Nintendo Switch. You can play it with the Joy-Cons or touch controls. And yes, it's still free.
That's nice. I mean, Fallout Shelter's not a bad game. It's kind of a fun time waster when you're on a plane. But I can play it on my phone.
And excited to say these versions are coming out tonight.
Cool. So you did the thing again.
Again, thank you so much for your support of all that we do coming here tonight. When we see how many of you our games have touched, it's incredibly special.
Is that all you got,
Especially
Todd?
Fallout Shelter.
I mean,
that
I want to
game
shoot you.
Has been played by over 120 million people. Incredible.
Just, I want to see.
That
I
is
want to
more
see. I want
people
to cry it on the
than
inside.
every game that we have made combined.
I want to cry on the inside while he's
Incredible.
sitting here talking.
It does kind of make you stop and realize that our games can have new lives on any type of device or system.
So I want to buy on PC.
And you know, when we looked at the iPhone 11 years ago, we had a few ideas for mobile games. Fallout Shelter was one of them, and we did have another one that was far,
there's no
far more
option to
ambitious.
pre-order the collector's edition.
And we've
right
been
now.
building it. And it's in the other franchise that you love from us.
We only get him up here like once every 3 E3s, but boy, when he shows up, he brings the goods. Thanks also to all of our studios and teams around the world who are so dedicated to giving our fans the very best games. If you're a gamer on any platform of any kind, we think we've got something for you.
No, there were quite a few that were really far off.
Wow.
What leak has not been correct?
I'm sorry. Wow. I'm not
They're giving us
happy.
nukes.
I'm not happy in any way, shape, or form.
I'm still optimistic.
I'm not. If what they just said is correct, then they will have full control over the servers, which means that it won't be playing with just our friends. It'll be we have to log into a server and we're stuck with whoever's there.
That's not necessarily true because you can still play games on servers that are dedicated to one form of play or another. So remember they did this with Ark. Ark has servers that are co-op and servers that are PvP.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that someone can't just come into your settlement and take stuff.
No, it does.
Only if they
or for another, for instance, it just I'm not okay with it. Like they didn't give us any details on any form of a story or anything involving it, and there's obviously no end game to it. It's designed to be something that we can play perpetually.
That's what survival games are. Ark is the same way.
Yeah, but no one
That's
plays
not
Fallout for a
okay
survival
for a
game.
Fallout game. That's
That's
really
not what anyone wanted.
I'm personally going to see how it plays out because it's kind of unclear just which direction it's going to go, but it's looking like only the human encounters are going to be with other people, which kind of makes sense with how short after the bombs fall there wouldn't be a lot of established places.
But there's not going to be there's stuff added in there that also doesn't make sense. They showed super mutants.
Yes, I know.
That's
I
a
knew
problem.
that was going to trigger people, but you know that's just the way it is. You know,
you created all these other enemies. We can deal with a Fallout game that doesn't have super mutants. I'm okay with a Fallout game that doesn't
I
have
agree
those.
with you. I did not have to have super mutants in this game. I would have been quite happy without them.
And then,
Yeah, I would have been happy with that one. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is why are there so many trees? The bombs fell 25 years ago.
Look at
Shit should
Chernobyl.
be destroyed.
No,
Look at Chernobyl.
He is right about
Yeah.
looking at Chernobyl. Trees grow exceptionally well post radiation for some reason. But I have other issues here.
Okay.
Like they have this huge map, but they're talking about every single person you interact with is a person. That means we're going to emerge, and there's going to be nothing. It's going to be a blank ass map.
You're saying that, but you don't know that. We don't have confirmation on that because even games like Ark have some control over this stuff.
From
Guys,
what was said,
you're also forgetting one thing he did mention is that it can also be played in
Exactly, you can play it solo.
alone.
He literally also said in the same breath that playing it solo is not going to be as rewarding, nor is it going to be easy, nor is it going to be easy to play solo. That's like playing Ark solo. You
Exactly, but
can't
you can still play it solo. It means that there's still a element of game that means that they could have servers that are going to be dedicated, and they didn't say this either, but they could have servers that are going to be dedicated strictly to co-op.
Next thing is they pulled an EA always online,
which is every game nowadays.
Does it fucking that is not every game nowadays.
Technically, yes, it is. Even when you play Fallout, you're playing online.
No, I'm not. I play Fallout. I play Fallout
the Creation Club
offline.
Because you can play Steam offline. You can play Steam offline as long as you download
you
the
can
game.
Play
you
it
can
offline. The Creation Club asks, "Do you want to log in?" You can say no, and you can play the whole game offline. You don't even have to upload your saves to the cloud anymore. Same thing with Skyrim. You can play it in offline mode. He just told us you can't do that.
And this is exactly what those leaks said. They said they're going to make it always online, and then they come out a few weeks later and say they're not going to have any outside modding because it can't work with being always online.
You're thinking Fallout, like Fallout 3, Fallout 4.
No, what I'm thinking
that type of game.
But what I'm thinking is they're going to try to run it like Elder Scrolls Online, and you can't. It's a Fallout game for one. You can't really do that because part of Fallout is the aesthetic of the NPCs you run into.
You can.
Let me finish. And also, the other piece of Fallout that's clearly going to be missing is when a decision is made, it's made. You can't go back and undo it, and you can't remake it again later. With them adding nukes, for instance, on a player-based server, how often are they going to reset? How often are you?
I'm not happy about nukes.
Yeah. How often is that? How often is that going to? How often is the damage that they do to a certain area going to reset itself?
I'm going to say personally, I'm not exactly happy about it, but I'm not super upset because it all depends on how it's implemented, and Todd Howard also is not the best at describing such things.
Todd Howard is also not the best at implementing anything that's not power gaming.
Yeah.
He's the guy who said, like, when he's describing Fallout 4, he's like, I want to push a button and things happen. Like,
he's not lying. That's exactly what it was.
I mean,
that's how all video games work. You push a button and something happens.
No, you know what I meant. Like, push a button and I want cool shit to go on.
I will give you an example. Fallout 4 came out. And playing Fallout 4 in comparison to any other Fallout game, the only thing that's good about it is the graphics and gunplay. Everything else about it sucks. The story is terrible and full of stuff that generally wouldn't be there. Having super mutants in Boston makes no sense. And there's a bunch of other holes in it. Like, oh look, you have 2 settlements. 2, one of which you had to actually build that actually have like some life to them. And that's it. Everything else, there's no memorable NPCs about any settlement. There's no memorable aspect about any settlement but Diamond City.
Not true. Everybody remembers Preston Garvey.
Yeah, everybody remembers the asshole we all wanted to kill.
And who always wanted your dick.
The mods we were able to kill.
He's literally worse than the arrow in the fucking knee joke. He's the incarnation of that joke, but made worse.
So here's a question I have. If this is a game that is meant to be played perpetually, like just forever and ever, how is leveling supposed to work?
Yeah, that's my other problem. If you're just carrying your character with you, are we going to get another character that can do everything?
Yeah, is this going to be me playing Skyrim again, or is this actually going to be Fallout?
We don't know, and that's exactly the point. We don't know yet.
And that's kind of my issue with these press things.
Of course they are, because this is just
they say a lot of shit,
fluff
but they don't
show.
say anything.
This is what we refer to as a dog and pony show.
Yeah, there was, like at the very end, mentioning Starfield for the sake of mentioning Starfield, and mentioning Elder Scrolls 6 for the sake of mentioning Elder Scrolls 6.
But also confirming that both of them are being worked on.
Did you guys see the number of unhappy people in the audience when he was talking about
There were
Fallout?
tons of them.
Yeah.
There were tons
No
of them. I saw
one
them.
was happy. Like
the
even the
entire-
people clapping had the most sour expression on their face, like, I have to clap or they won't invite me back.
I was watching the Twitch chat. All of them were doing the press have to pay respects meme.
Yeah,
they were
the
saying
Twitch
like Fallout
chat, the
is
Twitch
dead.
chat was like upset, to say the.
Yeah, and again, that's because everybody's falling into the hype. We look at it and we say, oh, this is not what I wanted. This is not the game. This is not Fallout New Vegas. And that's what everybody's saying.
It's not
No,
just
it's not a
that's not
Fallout
what we're
game at
saying.
all.
This is
It's
not
not even
Fallout,
Fallout 4.
period. Like compared to Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, even 4, this is not a Fallout game.
And it's not in line. It's not one of those type of games. It's a different type of game.
They
in the same
don't
franchise.
put the Fallout logo on it.
Sure they do. That's Bethesda. This is one of their products. Of course they put their name on it.
Bethesda can put their name on it. Don't put Fallout on something that's not a Fallout
But it's
product.
not Fallout 5. It's Fallout 7, meaning it's a completely separate game.
He said it's a
Just
prequel.
Just like Brotherhood of Steel or Fallout Tactics was not Fallout 3. It never was. It never was intended to be. It's a separate game, and this is a separate game.
But using that argument says that Fallout New Vegas is not intended to be a Fallout game.
It's not. It's actually a separate game because it was put out by a different company.
You can't say that because Fallout New Vegas was put out by the original designers of Fallout. Like that's
At that
part
point,
of
now
why
they didn't actually own the rights to it anymore.
That's true.
They're still the original creators now.
They're still the people who made the universe.
Right.
But the point here is what they just showed us is by far one of the most upsetting game release things I've ever seen.
I disagree because people are putting the I hate it because it's not Fallout 5 attitude on it.
It's not just
And
I
that's
hate
the
it.
whole
No,
point.
it's not I hate it because it's not Fallout 5. I hate it because it says Fallout and it's not a Fallout game.
Can
It's
I
not,
say something?
It's less about it being the next
RPG.
Fallout game. It's less about it being the next game in the series, and I'll let you say something in a second, Miss K. It's less about it being the next game in the series, and more about it, the fact that it literally, like, I literally looked at that, and when I saw the rocket launcher flying from another player, I went, oh dear God, do we have Fallout Battle Royale?
Yeah, it's when I'm looking at it, I see Ark, I see Rust, I see, like, for people who play Ark, like, any Fallout game for a story, which is the most people, there's no story to it. It's not going to have, because you can't have a story in this kind of game besides probably one quest.
Then you can't call it a Fallout
Yes,
game.
you
and
can.
No, you
It's
can't.
not yes, you can. Fallout Tactics was not the same type of game either, and it still had the Fallout name on it, put on it by
Then
Black
you know
Island
what?
Studios.
Then you know what? Then you know what? I can call Ark a Fallout game. I can call Rust a Fallout game because they're the exact same genre now.
No, because they're not put out
Yes,
by
I can.
Bethesda, who owns the rights to it.
But if you're going to put it into a completely different genre than what it has been before, which is always an RPG, either over top or first person, but at the end of the day, it's an RPG, that means you're telling a story. You're playing a role within that story. And you're going to take that part out and just make it I hate to say this, you're going to make it an arc? Really?
Yes, really, because those are popular right now. This
Yeah,
game,
but
go ahead.
here's the...
Okay, so what I was trying to say is I can see it from both sides on this. While I am tentatively excited because if it's implemented properly, this might be an amazing game, it can also much more easily go the wrong way and become another Rust or DayZ clone. And they've got to walk a very, very, very fine line here. Since they did say that solo play is a thing you can do, but it won't be as easy, I'm thinking what they're going to do is you don't get companions in this outside of other players, but there will still be some NPCs because some people would have still survived the bombs.
No. He said, quote, every single person you run into is an actual person.
So probably if you get any companions, it's going to be a dog.
There's also robots.
Yeah, robots.
Okay, dogs, robots.
That's nice, but what that means to me is that there are no NPCs. Is what he
I
said.
admit that he did say that, and I can't disagree with that, but that doesn't mean there isn't.
which means right now the closest thing we have to an actual Fallout, to a Fallout game, is Wasteland.
Again, wait and see. We haven't seen the game yet. You don't have to. It's not like you have to buy into the game if you don't like it. The point of it is you're dogging on the game before it's even done. Because I'll guarantee. Did anyone here ever play Fallen Earth?
Yeah,
not me.
I thought that was the best online MMO I have ever played in my life because people brought a real community to it and made it a fun game. I know that won't happen here because if it just turns out to be an open-ended battle royale game, it's just going to turn into a combat game. In which case, yes, I agree, that sucks.
Yeah, which is one thing that I'm really upset with. The only thing they showed here, at all, really, was combat.
I don't disagree with that. That is a definite possibility.
There was no computer terminals that we saw in the entirety of it. The Pip-Boy that they're using is a Pip-Boy 2000, which means it's the same model from the original game, straight up, verbatim, updated to a Fallout 4 engine. Which, if they're using that means there's no Geiger counter.
I saw a Geiger counter on it.
Again, there's not supposed to be super mutants either. So, again, don't read into everything that they're doing until you see it. Because it may or may not be what you think it is. And you jump on the hate bandwagon before we even see the game completely.
Okay. On the NPC thing, and sorry to bring this back up, I was getting cut off, and I got mad, and so I stepped away for a moment. There's a lot of robotic NPCs that are more memorable than their non-robotic counterparts. Like the Ring Ding Atomic Tango. Everyone remembers Fisto, but most people don't remember the rest of the NPCs. There's the Atomics Gallery, where it's all fucking Mr. Handies, and that's also a really nice place because they've got so much personality for being robots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then you can always point out, everyone remembers Fisto as the joke. How many people remember Boone over Fisto? Or Veronica? Or name any NPC?
The other issue I have here is if it is an always online game, that means Bethesda is going to be if there's any mod support at all, the only way you're going to be able to have mods, period, is through Bethesda's mod store Creation Club, which I am 100% against.
It also depends.
Agreed.
Part of playing Fallout, and for the most part of playing Skyrim, is mods, changing the game to meet your desires. And what they just showed is going to be something where they have, if there's mod support at all, it's tightly controlled and you have to pay for the mods. Because if it's an online only game and I log in with unsupported mods, it's going to kick me right out.
Which I'm going to point out that, to me, that just screams lazy writing on their part because they're, once again, leaving it to the fan base to fix everything.
Well, there's also the fact that Bethesda, if there's enough fan backlash, they will make it so that servers they don't control can be up.
There's
there's
already I'm looking on the Reddit right now, and it is
Reddit's exploding.
And the hype again is just that. It's hype.
No
one knows.
Halt. Hype is positive. Hype is usually positive. This is a meltdown.
Yeah, and people are melting down because the immediate thing is, it's not exactly what we want, so we're unhappy about it.
We're unhappy about it because they're stripping things away that have been core to this series from day one.
But it's not that style of game. That's the whole point. This is not Fallout 5.
Okay, then why bill it as Fallout at all?
Because like I just pointed out before, Fallout Tactics was not a RPG game.
You can say that's their right, and I can also say it's our right to call it shit.
That's fine. But to call a game shit before it comes out, because it could be the best motherfucking game that anyone has ever played, and we're shooting it down before we've even seen it played. And that's my problem with it. if we're going to shoot down a game before it's even played, that's the naysay attitude of it can never be good because it's not what we want.
Not everyone here is shutting it down.
I agree with you. Not everybody is, but I'm saying that a lot of people are just immediately dumping on it before it's even come out. It may suck ass and be the worst game ever, but we do not know that yet.
Okay. Can I get a word in?
Go.
All right. I just want to run down from the top of the whole conference. So I want to go Rage 2. I played Rage 1. I enjoyed it. I'll play Rage 2.
I never played Rage 1, but I was looking at the trailer. I might play Rage 2.
Jocko, you're interrupting.
I still don't care about Elder Scrolls Legends. I still don't care about Temrail or ESO. I look forward to the Prey editions. Didn't play Doom. I'm sure I care about Doom Eternal. Continuing on, I still don't care about Quake. If they do Young Bloods as standalone like they did Old Blood, it'll be interesting. Then again, Fallout 76 is, I don't know. It could be interesting if, like, we could set up our own server and just have it be our community server, so we don't have randos joining it. That's just going to make everything. But and it does sound like you are going to have the Vault 76 Overseer giving you quests, which implies some kind of story. But to go about those quests, it's easier if you work in cooperative. Now, I'm kind of nervous about the whole, I don't like what's there. Let's do a bunch of grinding, get a bunch of new... Well, and that's one thing I got the impression. To get the launch keys, you're doing a lot of grind, which leads to, if you want to nuke something quickly, again, you're going to have to do it cooperative. I think I would still rather, well, again, mixed mind. It's nice to be able to hit a race button, but at the same time, do you really want people just randomly shooting a nuke there so I can grab rare mods?
Now,
are there going to be places that you might not be able to raid without nuking it?
Then again, we go, as I mentioned before, they mentioned Starfield just to confirm they're working on Starfield.
The other issue I have is that none of the new monsters, like, I looked at them and freaked out at first, and then I went back and looked at them, and I looked and I thought one of them looked familiar, so I looked up. I started looking back through Fallout stuff. None of the new monsters we saw, the thing that looked like a Jersey Devil, the big hulking thing, the crazed bee with the fucking hive on its back, none of those are new. They're all concept creatures from the canceled Fallout 3 project by Blackout Studios.
Van Buren?
Yeah, they're all, every one of them. The huge station is the orbital station from Van Buren. The crash station, yeah, that's straight from Van Buren. All of it's, none of these are new. None of these are something they created. These are stuff that came with the property that hadn't been used yet. So I started to get excited, and now I'm disappointed.
Okay.
So those creatures, while they might be slightly modified to look like something from a West Virginia legend or something, compared side by side, they are the concept new creatures that were supposed to be in the Cancel Van Buren game.
Honestly, this feels like it might just be Fallout Van Buren rebooted.
That might be the case. One of the other things is at the Jersey Devil scene, the person standing in the foreground does have what appears to be a plasma caster, so we might have the plasma machine gun back.
Can I make a comment?
Like I said, I'm tentatively excited for it because I can see how it can go so wrong having played Rust a lot, but at the same time, I'm also excited because now I can play Fallout with my friends.
Good attitude. I think Clocks wanted to say, or Cakes wanted to say something.
I did enjoy the new designs for the power armor. The aspect of them kind of brought up a little bit of hope in that aspect, so I think it might be interesting tracking those down, finding them, because it's probably going to be, quest related, most likely, in order to, acquire power armor frame, acquire, parts and all that. That probably is going to be quest related. But I am somewhat looking forward to the potential of playing with a close group of friends, but we'll have to see how they do the servers and how the whole online play thing is, because if it's just everyone for everyone and you can get nuked out of nowhere for no apparent reason, that's one thing. But one thing he said is you're playing with about a dozen people, which means you might know who's on the map with you.
The other issue I have, one of the staples of Fallout, there's a lot of issues I have. One of the staples of Fallout is VATS. How do you do VATS in multiplayer?
It's not the same type of game. Again,
Okay, can we please not go to that argument?
Holtz,
That is
literally, you
walking
have
into a
beat that
wall.
horse to death.
I
If that is
realize
your
that.
only argument,
but you keep bringing it up.
I'm bringing up other aspects
that
of
type of game.
I'm bringing up other aspects that they are not including clearly, or that they have fucked up. And you keep bringing up the argument. It's not that they put Fallout on the name. I have to judge it by the other Fallout games. Like, that's an automatic.
Okay.
If you can't accept that, then that's the wrong conversation to have.
What I was trying to say before it devolved into the same old argument that is literally getting us nowhere at all, no offense to anyone involved in it, they might be sacrificing VATS for other features, because if you notice, what looks like the radio also has a toggle switch on the side of it that makes it look like it's more like a walkie-talkie than just a radio. So these might have been, modified versions of the 2000 series that sacrifice the aim assist feature in order to have better communication between people with this same model.
So like a built-in radio?
Yeah, probably. I'm going to wait till I have more information on the series before I actually make a judgment call on it. I need to know how they're going to do the servers, how they're going to do, playing with friends, or how they're going to handle, if you want to play wholly alone and never see another person. I need to know that before I go, hey, here's my money.
Okay.
I'm interested, but I'm cautious.
Exactly.
I have to say I fall into the same. I'm not going to go out of my way to pre-order it on the 15th.
I still want to get the special edition if I possibly can, because I want that wearable power armor helmet, but
You can get those 3D printed for $60.
Yeah. Well, I
with a
found
built-in headlamp and voice modulator.
Yep.
Yeah, I found a close-up of the thing of the pip sitting on the desk. So it looks like it's a 2-button push-on, push-off with a dial to move the bar up and down to listen to the radio. There's also the a rad counter on there, so there is a Geiger counter in the thing.
Yeah.
By the way, I nailed the date. Told you.
Well, that was 100% right there. You did get it.
Didn't they say like November 14th?
November 14th.
Yeah, no, I said November 10th is when Fallout. It's just like November 10th or 11th when Fallout 4 came out.
Till I see a story of some sort, and until we have confirmation that there's going to be some way of having a world that isn't just monsters and lethality and other players, I'm not in. Like, you haven't sold me. And if it really breaks down to that, something you guys need to have observed, caps are not currency. Apparently they're XP. And we saw that.
Yep.
I think that's because the main reason caps were used in the other games is because of the water barons backing that with the water.
Yeah.
Whereas this is well before that.
That's well
so
before
they might
that.
still be using pre-war currency as it's normally intended to be used.
They might be, but if
I
every
did
single
notice something.
single human you encounter is supposed to be a real person, don't see
Yeah.
that being the case.
If there's no shops, there's no reason to have a currency.
I did actually notice what the caps were being used for, I believe. When they gained caps, caps went up, but when they were actually building, it had a cap cost. So certain things in the build menu cost a certain amount of caps, and whenever they purchased something like a wall, window, so on and so forth, the cap counter went down.
Also, with the camp thing, I think that's player specific for if it's there and open, and when a player signs off or quits the game, it goes away. Otherwise, the build anywhere thing would not work. So that's like offline raid protection.
Depends on the size. Depends on the size of the server, because they did that with Ark.
The map does include all of Virginia, West Virginia. I'll give them that because there are some pretty prominent landmarks in there. The Green River Bridge, the Capitol, Greenbrier Estates.
Well, I mean,
so just those 3 points alone is most of West Virginia if you put everything in between it.
I believe you said 4 times the size of Fallout 4 map, if I remember correctly.
Which only makes it slightly smaller than the Skyrim map.
Yeah, I admit that's...
Ouch.
That's
But still
not-
massively
but not that
smaller
big.
than the state of Texas.
That's not an improvement. Because the Fallout 4
will-
map was small.
I will
I
say
see-
in their defense. Go ahead, Miss Guy.
I would say it's an improvement because West Virginia also has a lot more diverse terrain than a lot of other games that they've made. And on top of that, this also has really lush foliage throughout it, like West Virginia, which takes a lot more processing and rendering power than, say, the Boston Commonwealth.
That's entirely fair. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna have a look.
Plus, I
But
did see there were a lot of, like, because Fallout 4 did this a lot, there was a lot more verticality without having a lot of instant zones, which Skyrim didn't have any verticality without instant zones. So this might, so having so much, and if you can go up a lot of buildings without ever going through a loading screen, that might improve it. But it makes sense they chose West Virginia being like the tiniest state next to Hawaii.
Also, there is going to...
I can attest
Tropico,
they
if
got
they
the
were-
hilliness right.
I'd say if they were going to do small states, they should have done
I
Rhode Island.
kind of want somebody to go pick apart the map they showed, because that map he showed supposedly has every location on it, and no offense, if that's every
Already pulling it
location on it, that's not a whole lot.
Remember, games like Ark, the map isn't all that big, so the server limits the number of players on the server. So I'm assuming that they're going to have a limited number of players on the server.
Yeah, but
I guess a dozen, maybe 2.
on a Fallout map, if that's the entire map and there's only a couple dozen locations, that's fewer locations than even like Fallout 1 had.
But literally, if you take that map, it's about 4 times that size. Is about the size of some of the Ark maps.
But if
Not
you,
all of them.
but for a Fallout map where we're supposed to go be exploring unique locations, like going into a bunker or finding a Chinese submarine or whatever, if it's only got like 24 locations that are actually already on the map for you, that means that the map is separated by a whole lot of wilderness and nothing.
I get that's kind of the impression because I think it's going to be a building game.
So I found a picture of the glow in the dark map.
So it's going to be up to us to create the map again.
Again, the type of game it is.
Actually, it looks like there's already a lot of predefined locations. I think it's just that we are building settlements, not that we're building places.
Okay, it could be there's existing places. I don't know.
Yeah, but if, like I said, part of what gives a Fallout game its character are the NPCs we run into. Like, everybody remembers running up to Novak in New Vegas, or everybody remembers the first time they heard Three Dog on the radio in Fallout 3, or
everybody remembers the first time they blew up Megaton.
Everybody remembers when they went to go fight the Super Mutant Master in Fallout 1, what that was like.
That was creepy.
And they had to kill the Psychers, because they were actually called Psychers too.
And some of us can recite lines from those characters we met there verbatim. Like, who was your favorite companion in New Vegas? Boone is probably
Rose
your
of
answer.
Sharon Cassidy.
Or Cassidy. Those are your two big answers. Who's your favorite companion in Fallout 4? Curie's mine.
Yeah, Curie.
Especially once she's a synth, because that's kind of fun.
Dog meat.
That's a whole other different conversation. Dog meat.
I enjoy
Everybody remembers
Ada.
dog meat from Fallout 2 till now.
No, you could get him in Fallout 1 too.
Oh yeah, you could.
No, he couldn't. He wouldn't follow you. He was in the town, but he didn't follow you out of the town.
But also,
Actually, he did. You had to wear the leather armor when you first meet him, and then he follows you.
That's Fallout 2.
Give him jerky.
But see,
No, and Fallout 1 as well. If you wear the leather armor,
hold on, guys. These are little details we all remember from the game, from NPCs, and now we're looking at a game that's not going to have any NPCs. So we're gonna remember a couple of our own stories, but they're only going to be our stories for the people who were there immediately. Everyone else is not really going to relate to them.
You say that, Fee, but you don't know that because you know who those NPCs may be. They may not be NPCs. They may be PCs. They may be your friends.
That's nice, Holtz. But I can't take that experience I have with my friends
And talk to any other random Fallout player.
and go talk to another random Fallout player about it and then relate to it. They're listening to my story. They're not relating to my story in their own experience.
Can I?
Sure.
Okay, I play a lot of Arma 3. Whenever I meet another Arma 3 player, we have the same related experience with how because there's going to be places that are going to be common rating points. Memories, like with Liberation and the Halo mod on Arma 3, a big thing is after one of the bases we built, ever since then, every base we build has a memorial space in it because we had 400 deaths trying to build the base.
Right.
And someone comes on the server and they're like, they say, well, why do you always do this? And we tell the story and they're like, oh, dude.
Yes, but there's something that's still lost in translation.
Okay, let me put this in terms. When we were playing Ark, do you remember the times we sat out? Remember the time we sat out by the beach trying to get the Megalodon for Bo?
No.
Oh, come on.
We did that 6 separate times.
Yeah, but there was the one time we did it, and that was such a memorable thing for me because it was one of the first times where we literally sat there and built up this little camp on the beach while we were waiting.
No.
And then another one came along, and we tried to take that one too, so we had 2 of them. And you didn't want to go in the water because you were so scared of the damn shark.
I never wanted to go in the water. We had other people go in the water to get resources from the water and to get the water creatures. The only time I would go in the water is near our own base with someone watching my back to build the goddamn marina.
I had a lot of memorable times playing Ark with you and Doodle, and
I have memorable experiences playing with you, but there's no specific experience that sticks out from that game. The only two instances of a specific memory I have from that game are the first time Doodle and I took down a Brachiosaur, and only because the only reason that's a memorable experience is because apparently it was down to 1 stun HP, and a flare does 1 stun point. And I shot it with a flare and knocked it down.
I remember that. That was on stream.
The other memorable experience is the goddamn terror birds that literally ate Barry McBareface.
Terror birds are actually terrifying in that game. They are like the emu's ancient ancestor of fuck you.
But when you mention the beach and sharks to me, the only image I have was that the first time or like the 30th time?
No, actually, that was the first. So,
I have times. There were a couple times we had him. We apparently had him in a river, and I was put on Overwatch with a long rifle. There's a couple of times where we had him off of shore. There's like twice where a Nessie was trying to interfere with them taking some sea critter, and I had to shoot at the Nessie to drive it off.
And you know how much of a memorable moment it was for me? Remember the one we were on Overwatch? You shot a dinosaur that was close to somebody, and it went on a rampage and ended up wiping out all of the dinosaurs we were trying to train and everybody else. Because it was a fun time.
That happened, but over the course of playing Ark, that happened 3 or 4 times.
That was a specific time. There was other times when we had other things on Overwatch, but...
the point here being that the experiences can be recreated over and over again and become less memorable for me. When I go to play Fallout 4 and I go talk to Preston a couple times, because he sends me to different places, as annoying as his ass is, I tend to remember when I got most annoyed with him on any particular day, because he'll send me to a settlement and I'll remember going to that settlement because it has some sort of unique setup, like the one that was nothing but Mr. Handy robots and then didn't have any quests there, and I'm like, this should totally okay, I have a tornado warning, but I'm on floor -1, so I'm fine. But that settlement was unique, and I remember a couple of the Mr. Handys inside the settlement, inside the greenhouse, but they didn't have quests. They didn't have anything that made it, like, super cool. It was just there.
Actually, they do have a quest. They have the one to go clean out the
water
water filtration
water station.
Yeah, but the water, when you go clean out the water station, there's like 3 water stations on the map, so it's kind of the same cookie cutter station.
No, it's one big one you have to clear out because the water's being contaminated for their plants.
I know what you're talking about, but there's 2 of them that you have to clear them out. Part of it is like activating some valves to get the water to go down so you can go deeper.
Yeah, this is the one we're talking about.
That's the one.
There's another one just like it over near the witch house.
That's also true.
And not only is it just like it, the layout was so similar to the 2 of them that I actually confused which one I was at when I was doing the second one at the witch house.
Newsweek just put out something about this release.
Wait, what?
Newsweek, I'll link it.
That's kind of what I'm expecting. Is a lot of cookie cutter.
Gee, are there already memes like this?
Holy there are a shit ton of them.
Yes.
Where's he putting the memes at? But Orc Talk?
There's
I've put them in video games.
You ask if there's already memes. This is the internet.
Yeah, I know. It's just.
I'm pretty sure the first thing I made was by Shadman. I think that's his art style. I saw it in. I'm just on Funny
It says players will go on missions and experience a story and level up. Okay, Explain. I'd like to understand. Like, are we gonna have a level cap again?
When do game companies ever really explain everything until we actually get the game?
That's fair.
Well, I mean, it'd just be like Peter Molyneux. Lie to us and tell us that there's more than there's actually going to be.
I mean, let's face it, you know, to put it in perspective, Feed, there's a reason why that we like to watch streamers like you. Because we expect you to play games and then so we can actually see what they're like beforehand.
That's fair. That's fair. I will give you that. But, I mean, considering the last 2 years of almost purely negative Fallout 4 feedback they've gotten, this is the last thing we would have expected.
I'm just going to be posting all the Fallout memes. This depressed.
Like, if you're me watching stuff on YouTube about Fallout 4 at times, it's depressing the number of people, including Shoddycast himself, who have said the game is not good. And as of today, the game sits at 68% user review on Steam and 61% on Metacritic. It actually now sits lower than even Fallout 2 on Metacritic.
The thing is, I don't really listen to when I listen to the gameplay and make my own opinions about it. But
now,
I got my money's worth out of Fallout 4.
I'm not going to say I didn't get my money's worth. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily a bad game, but it is a bad Fallout game.
Oh, that's definite.
It's a bad, and what we're expecting now from Fallout 76.
Fallout purists.
Not just for Fallout purists. It's a bad Fallout game, because if you go play the other Fallout games and you play Fallout 4, you're like, did something happen?
Oh, I thought you were talking about 76.
No, Fallout. No, she's talking about how like with Fallout. One of the problems people have with Fallout 4, not much dialogue.
It's not just not much dialogue. It's voice protagonist. It's the voice. Like, Fallout 4's two redeeming qualities were Nuka World if you didn't kill all of the raiders, if you could stand them long enough, and Far Harbor. Those two things were good. Everything, the base game itself, however, was not worth playing. Because if you could stand not killing the raiders, which I went back through and played it again and didn't kill the raiders, that's actually a good Fallout story. It's a good game. Just playing Nuka World. I wish I could just stay and play Nuka World and have an ending with Nuka World. Like, that'd be the game. Far Harbor was actually good. The base game was just like, this is not worth playing. I'll give it that the gameplay was better. The RPG system was awful. Creating a character that specialized in anything made no sense, because I guarantee you one thing about every single person's Fallout 4 character. Everybody has Charisma 10.
Nope, I didn't.
I do, but I never got past level 20.
Virtually everybody will max out their Charisma because the speech checks are strictly a straight Charisma check now. They do not involve any. There's no skills to back them up, so specializing into something makes no sense. If you want to pass all the speech checks, you just max out Charisma.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how Fallout 4 worked. If you just gave yourself Charisma 10, it didn't matter that the speech check was blood red, indicating you needed stupid high Charisma. If you have Charisma 10, you just pass the speech check automatically. Which was kind of dumb, because it meant that replaying the game a second time to get different dialogue choices didn't make any sense, because you could just unlock all of them for one playthrough. More importantly, playing through the game again to play a different character archetype doesn't make any sense, because by level 20 you can pretty much branch out and do most everything with one character, and then on top of that you can play one character indefinitely, so you can check out every single playstyle with one playthrough.
The same issue that I had with Skyrim.
The other problem I had with Fallout 4 was clearing an area didn't last. You could get a quest to go kill a bunch of raiders, or get a quest to go kill a bunch of super mutants, go annihilate them, go to bed, come back 8 hours later, and the quest is complete, but all the enemies are back. The world was static. Unlike... Yes. Yes.
Just tired of hearing about people bitch. Honestly, no one knows how to write a good game anymore.
That's not true.
Yeah, honestly, in the last 5 years, what good games have really come out?
Doom,
Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne.
Yeah, no. Doom, yes.
Dark Souls was decent.
Doom, absolutely.
I don't like Dark Souls.
That's if you don't like that type of game, that's fine. That's fair.
The Witcher.
The
Witcher, yes.
The Witcher was a
The
good
Witcher?
game from what I never played it, but it did seem to be a good game.
Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which I want to play Pillars of Eternity 2, but I need fucking time. The South Park, the Stick of Truth. I will say the Fractured Butthole because the Fractured Butthole has some real flaws. Compared to the Stick of Truth, it has real flaws, but it's still a fun and enjoyable game.
Vermintide and Vermintide 2.
Sniper Elite 3 and 4.
Cuphead.
Cuphead was awesome. See, these are things we remember, things that are fun. That I'd still Tropico.
2.8.
Tropico 5 and Tropico 6 comes out later this year.
I have a question.
Yes.
When was the last, completely new game, that concept that came out?
Vampire came out last week. I haven't been able to actually sit down and play it myself. I've seen Let's Plays of it. It's an amazing piece of work. It is literally the best vampire game I have seen since Bloodlines. And that was 20 years ago.
Damn.
That was 20 years ago. That was back when E3 was just starting up, is when that game was announced. And and Vampire just came out, and it's awesome.
But does it have gameplay elements and concepts that are from other games, or is it just a really well done new game?
It has some. It has yes and yes. It has gameplay elements from other games, but it also has. First off, it's the first game I've seen in steampunk. Not necessarily steampunk like Industrial Revolution era. It's the first time I've seen an Industrial Revolution era game since Arcana, Masters of Technology and Magic. That's good. And that game is like DOS old.
You can't really say if there's a game that takes nothing from anything else, because it's like stories. Every book just takes from another story.
It's a completely original story, but also one of the interesting things in the game is that talking to people not only unlocks additional dialogue choices and additional quest choices, it unlocks additional ways to play the game. Knowledge and information about an individual makes it where if you decide that you're going to drain that individual dry of blood to feed your vampiric needs, you get more XP for it and you get extra story elements from it because you know that individual well enough to read their blood better. So sitting down and listening to these people's stories not only gives you the element of the story of the game itself evolving and changing and your decisions in the game being different because you know more information, but also if you decide that Johnny Homeboy, it looks delicious, it changes your character in gameplay terms, in terms of unlocking different abilities quicker, because they'll now cost less XP from draining certain individuals because of information you gain from that individual. And also it will give you different amounts of XP, sometimes going up and sometimes going down, based on how well you knew the person.
So if I go and suck the local steam engineer dry, I start getting better at steam engineering. To give an example,
if you suck a nurse dry early in the game, later in the game when you're having to perform an improvised surgery, you get a different dialogue choice that isn't even present if you didn't suck. It doesn't say locked or anything, it's just not there unless you suck the nurse dry before that point.
And that's a lot like Fallout 3, because Fallout 3 had dialogues that didn't show up unless you took certain perks or had certain skills.
Yes, unless so.
That was all the Fallout games.
So that's every Fallout game before Fallout 4.
I don't know if they had that all in Fallout Vegas. I think there was
They
some,
did.
but not as many.
Yeah, there were a few.
There were
Actually,
the Black Widow and
Yeah, they had different effects. Yeah, that's true.
they had different effects. Heart of a Child, and also some dialogue choices would not even show up unless you passed a special check.
Or
Like-
if your intelligence was too low.
Oh yeah. If you played a low intelligence run, they did pay homage to the low intelligence run.
There's actual quests in Fallout 3 that you can. There's no dialogue. There's no quest line. There's nothing that points to it. But you could literally, like the mechanist and the ant lady. There was a way of solving that, and there was no leading to that. You could just stumble on it by accident.
Yes, and we didn't have those in 4.
Oh no, I agree. 4 doesn't have anything like that.
Another example of a good game that came out just last year is Cold Waters. We haven't had a submarine simulator since Silent Hunter or 688.
But here's the next important question: out of those games, which of those games are still selling well and doing well as far as their popularity? I know The Witcher still does quite well.
It actually sold more last year than it had in the year it came out and the year after that. It's actually growing in sales.
Divinity Original Sin and Original Sin 2 have continued to have an upward sales trend since they came out.
But what games are people playing that are very popular right now?
So guys, real quick, not angry or anything else like that. I got work in the morning. I'm heading to bed.
All right.
Night all.
Night
kicks.
The battle royale genre is the only one that I can think of that's worth buying. Maybe is Fortnite.
Yeah, but you see, we get my point. That's the game. That's the game style that they're trying to aim for in a lot of these games because that's what's popular.
It'll be dead.
Oh, I hope so, but unfortunately, it hasn't died yet.
Unfortunately, it hasn't died yet. Unfortunately, they feel like they can capitalize on it. If it turns out that this is Fallout 4 Battle Royale and that's what it really is, there's people will not want that game.
Oh, I agree. That's not what I'm looking for. Most definitely not what I'm looking for.
Tell me something. You sit down to play a Fallout game and you make a character. You want to make a special and skills, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want there to be some sort of story that you're in the middle of, right? That you have to figure out the beginning and then get to the end.
For a role-playing game, yes.
Okay. So, if you sat down with Fallout 76 and you didn't have skills still, it's just special and just perks, and you didn't have any real story to go out on, it's just the Overseer sending you on infinite missions, how do you feel?
I feel it could be an enjoyable game on a different level. It's not the role-playing game that I'm waiting for them to put out, which they may never.
And see, that's part of my worry and why I'm so against it, is if people support Fallout 76, they might get this idea that they can just do that and not have to do the single-player experience that we want, and then we spend the next really long-ass time before we get a new Fallout game. Because look how they just announced, with the shortest 20 seconds ever, a new Elder Scrolls game. And it's 2018. Elder Scrolls Skyrim is 7 years old.
It's always coming up on 10 years.
It's still, and yet somehow people
And
still
based
make
on
mods
the
for
fact
it.
they only gave us a 20-second trailer, I literally think they made that trailer in the last 3 months. And the game really hasn't got its full development cycle started. And Bethesda's development cycles are long. Really long.
Yeah, look how many projects they're getting into. That's one of the reasons.
That's true, but to illustrate this for you, Fallout 4 came out in 2015, Fallout 3 came out in 2009, New Vegas came out in between, but that's because it was developed by another studio. If they're going to put another delay on this like that, we're not going to see Fallout 5 till I'm 40. And that's not an exaggeration, that's an expectation. And that makes us all sad.
See? Welcome to my world. I have been playing Fallout games since they first came out. I've had to wait. I had to go through the battles of who was going to control the game systems. You know, I had to wait decades before they got the next set of games out. You know, I know exactly where you're going. I have been the one waiting.
So right now, the things I'm looking forward to from Fallout are Frontier and New California Republic. Those are mods for New Vegas. And I'm also looking forward to Fallout 4 New Vegas. Those 3 things are being released. 2 of them are the Frontier and New California Republic, if they're on schedule, are supposed to be released in October and November of this year. And then Fallout 4 New Vegas is supposed to be released summer next year. And that's a full-on conversion mod of the entirety of the game to something else. And I'm looking forward to those for a couple reasons. One, it'll be the first time in a Fallout game we've had vehicles that we actually can move around and fight in.
Oh yeah, they showed the tank. That was amazing.
It's not just they showed the tank. Frontier this year at E3 showed the tank, the Vertibird. The Vertibird.
You've been playing a lot of
Screw you, I like ponies.
The ponies are corrupting
Jeeps. The double cannon tank we saw in Fallout 4, the heavy tank. Yeah, that's a thing now. That can literally smash through buildings.
Ugliest damn tank I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's ugly as hell, but it's a Fallout tank, and it looks Fallout-ish, so I'm happy. But the point is that it's not only that, but they've included in the Fallout New Vegas thing, the Fallout 3 engine, destructible environment.
Cool.
I'm expecting, if they've done it correctly and it doesn't explode, I'll be happy. If they've done it wrong and it crashes repeatedly, I'll still be happy.
Everyone, we are witnessing a nerdgasm as it is happening.
And then Fallout 4 New Vegas. Fallout 4 engine, skills, level cap, like everything from Fallout New Vegas we liked about role-playing and developing a character. So you have to specialize. You have to choose what your character does. You're not going to be good at everything. That's there. And then on top of that, Fallout 4 graphics, Fallout 4 gunplay, Fallout 4 crafting and modding, and creation of stuff, with the entirety of the New Vegas map, including 36 new locations.
Yeah, I read the article on that.
And all the
I haven't just read the article. I've been looking at the ModDB once a week as a reminder to me, this is going to be a thing. Just keep these guys going. Remind these guys that we fully appreciate their work. And so that's where I'm at. If Fallout 76 is a battle royale game, I'm going to be very unhappy. If Fallout 76,
I will be too.
If Fallout 76 lacks a story, an actual beginning, middle, and end story, I'm going to be unhappy.
I won't be unhappy if it's a survival type of game with a co-op playability, kind of like Vermintide kind of thing, or any kind of adventure type of game where we can go out and do things together. I won't mind it. It's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as Fallout story per se, but it's going to allow me to play Fallout with my friends.
I'm okay with playing Fallout with my friends, but understand, we will want our own server that we can mod the fuck out of.
I would love to see that. That I would love to see.
Yeah, I mean, what's a Fallout game unless all the fucking giant monsters are Macho Man Randy motherfucking Savage, and we're just going out and hunting.
Just a derp ass day. But that's what I have to say right now. I don't mind going out and playing with my friends, but if there's no story and it feels like, if it feels like a survival game covered in Fallout juice.
And again, I don't mind that. That's fine. It's just not. It's not Fallout 5. It's not Fallout Vegas 2. It's something in between that could be a fun game to play with my friends. And that's what I don't want. I don't mind.
Daz, what is this you've linked me? Because I recognize the spaceships but can't place them.
Oh, I just came up with a meme idea.
It's called Solar Winds, and it's for a game that could have been and will never be.
I just how they made Fallout 76 and it's a drawing of the Fallout mascot coming on the Ark mascot or something like that. Sorry, I'm fucked in the head.
But yes, the amount of Fallout 76 memes is currently exploding, and they are beautiful.
And so now we spend the next 5 months waiting, getting little releases, and hoping that between the beta and the level of oh dear god upsetness that is Reddit right now, it gives them a hint that they may want to rethink some of what they're doing, or maybe we're all wrong. I'll give Holtz the torch and say we're all wrong. There's a story here. There's an end point to the game. There's end credits. There's the whole 9 yards from Fallout 4 that we all bitched about not being in Fallout 4 that are going to be in this game. There's settlements and everything already in the game. People we can walk up to and say hello, and they say hello back, and they send us on quests. I will say that is a possibility.
I found this one. I'm pretty sure Chaco did put it in here, but
I will say, Holtz, I think the frustration is a lot of they're saying it's one thing, but it's not. Like opening up a thing of Honey Nut Cheerios and it's Raisin Bran Crunch instead. I kind of get that frustration.
And again, I agree. It may be, but I just see everyone jumping on the bandwagon of hate it now before we even see it.
No, we're hating it now in hopes that the developer will wake up and realize, oh, we're gonna shoot the goose that laid our golden egg. Like that is a distinct possibility, is they could shoot the goose that laid the golden egg if they do this wrong, and a lot of us like that goose. Really, really a lot. And we're impassioned gamers who will sit here and fight and argue and beat each other up and then say, you want a beer?
I would say we kind of leave it for now for a little bit and see where it goes, because this is a heated topic right now, and it'd be best to let it sit and see where it's going to go, because there's a lot of different paths it could take.
This is super heated, and I'm going to admit that this is like borderline politics level heated, and we're talking about a video game. If we got this impassioned about video games, imagine what would happen if we cared about a lot of politics. Good God.
That needs to be an additional rule. There are 4 things you do not talk about.
No. Hold on. Chaco, you clearly have not read the rules. Because the rules say, if you think we need more rules, see Rule 1. Don't be a dick.
I'm talking about that, like how the saying goes, the things you never talk about with family is money, politics, and... what's the third one? Religion, yeah. It needs to be 4 things you never talk about. Money, religion, politics, and Fallout.
Agreed.
Fallout falls into religion.
I'm sorry, but it wouldn't be as bad as if they had announced a new Dark Souls game.
Guys, we're going to table this discussion. Next time there's a press release about Fallout 76, we'll sit down and reopen the discussion. But I'm going to ask everybody to please put this tabled or go talk about it in Orc Chat. The other thing I'm going to ask you guys is we are currently 2 people away from having 200 people on this Discord server.
Wow.
What?
Damn.
And in addition to that, we are currently 38 likes from me having to wear a swimsuit for a week.
I can't give you any more likes on that. I mean, the rest of my friends wouldn't touch a My Little Pony story with a 10-foot pole.
That's fair. But if you guys can find people, go right ahead. This is going to be posted on the YouTube channel tomorrow. The full discussion, as well as my reaction to everything Todd Howard said. A lot of it's not going to be positive.
Shit.
Fair warning. I heard all you guys.
Have you been
I've been recording since Todd Howard went up on the stage.
Shit!
Whoa, Nelly!
You should assume that if you come in here, I might hit the big red button.
didn't
I mean,
care one way or the other.
Because I sat here and actually yelled at you a lot.
Hold on. Although I fully appreciate this meme, you can now play Skyrim on your Pip-Boy in Fallout.
That is awesome. That would be so cool.
I like the one after it, but I
Yes.
think that one should be moved to Orc Chat, methinks.
No, this is all going to pretty pictures. All
No. Any
Unfortunately, you guys-
further discussion about Fallout goes in
Move to
Orc
Orc.
Chat until we get another press release that we can all sit down and talk about it. So when there's another actual press release from Bethesda, y'all let me know and we'll have a sit down and talk about it, and everybody can read about it or watch it or whatever. In the meantime, see everybody later. Let me know what you think about this kind of video and if I should do more of them or not.
Maybe you should tell us next time before you